they've established, and by Kofi Annan, the Secretary General of the UN, has put forth proposals called the Millennium Proposals, and there are a number of policies that they want to bring forth by the year 2015 or the year 2020, and so it's a great challenge to the nations of the world to put this into play and to fulfill these challenges. And it remains to be seen whether we can or not, but nevertheless it's a step forward to at least enunciate these policies and these goals, and to try to work towards them. Many nations are cooperating, but some are dragging their feet.
Maybe it would be good to review the Millennium Development Goals that have been the focus of the United Nations this month and next in setting the agenda for the coming UN session. The first one is to eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. 1 out of every 2 people in the world, I believe, lives on $2 a day or less. And something like 20%, 1 in 5 of the world's people lives on $1 a day or less. The disparity in income between the very rich and the very poor is increasing. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. And this is an urgent problem that absolutely must be addressed, because along with that increasing disparity come issues of alienation and deprivation that will only exact their consequences on all of us. We will all have to pay for this terrific injustice. The second one is to achieve universal primary education, and I believe that is progressing quite well at the present time. The third is to promote gender equality and to empower women, and the UN has been extremely active in a number of programs that bring greater opportunity for training and education and opportunity for women. And the fourth is to reduce child mortality, which is one of the basic standards of how successful a society is. Do its children survive to the age of, say, 5? And interestingly, the United States is not at the top of the list by any means.
No, in fact, it's quite a ways down about infant mortality. It's
not a
kind of
particularly
sad.
good record.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not a very good record.
And yes, and also what the UN goals are is to reverse the spread of HIV/AIDS, which is a big scourge in the world. So all of those are, and there are others. What are some of the others?
Well, another one is to improve maternal health, which of course would be linked to reducing child mortality. The health of the mother, particularly while she's pregnant, affects the child to be born. And there is a lot of work that's been done by UNICEF, one of the major world UN agencies along that line.
And some of the other goals to be achieved are to ensure environmental sustainability. The environment, the world environment, is really a tremendous focus of attention right now, because the pollution is getting worse, and many countries are again dragging their feet about establishing policies, and even the United States has opted out of the Kyoto Agreement, and so there's an effort to get that back on track.
And that would be an example of a perfect issue for the UN to spearhead, because the environment and its problems can't be contained within the borders of any one nation. They spill over. Desertification, the problems of water and climate are issues that are beyond the borders of any one nation. And the United Nations, through the UNDP, the UN Development Program, and the UNEP, the UN Environment Program, have done a great deal of work to deepen our awareness of the problems in the environment and to come up with some solutions that then require the consent of the member nations, and that's often where the hang-up comes. If the member nations don't sign on to these programs that are proposed, nothing much gets done. The UN is not an enforcer. The UN, you could say, is an educator and a highlighter, and it presents information and offers a pooling of resources and ideas, but then the implementing of them often comes down to the member nations. And the last issue before the UN is to develop a global partnership for development, which I think is self-explanatory.
For those people who just tuned in, you're listening to Inner Sight. Our topic for today, the United Nations and its future goals. We have an interesting offer, a free offer from Lucis Trust, and I do hope you take advantage of it. It's a pamphlet on the United Nations Humanities Challenge. It's available at no charge, for free once again, so please make sure you get your copy. I think it would be wonderful for those, it's interesting reading, but I think it's also wonderful for school teachers, wouldn't you say, Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it would be wonderful for them, and it is for free. You could probably make a lesson out of it. And once again, it's the title of it is the United Nations Humanities Challenge, and it offers a review of current ideas for United Nations reform, as well as a depiction of the spiritual significance of the United Nations. So if you'd like your free copy, just give us a call at 1-866-695-8247. The easy way to remember it, 1-866-NY-LUCIS. Lucis is L-U-C-I-S. Think of 1-866 New York Lucis. We also appreciate the donations that you've given us in the past, and both donations of a large and small. They're greatly appreciated. They're certainly an expression to us of your support, and additionally, that's what keeps us on the air. So please continue to donate. If you would like to make a donation, that once again, they're tax deductible. Send your check or money order to Lucis Trust, 120 Wall Street, New York, New York, 10005. That's Lucis Trust, 120 Wall Street, New York, New York, 10005. Once again, the free offer from Lucis Trust is a pamphlet entitled The United Nations Humanities Challenge, available at no charge. And give us a call if you want that pamphlet at 1-866, that's the toll-free number, 1-866-695-8247. The easy way to remember it, 1-866-NY-LUCIS. Think of 1-866 New York Lucis. You know, nothing hits home more than a little anecdote or a statistic such as the one you gave before, that such a large percentage of the world is living on $2 a day. It brings to mind something that I saw on television once where it just woke me up. I was kind of in a lull, watching the TV, until a man who was obviously poor came on, and he was in a third world country, and his only possession that he was so proud of was this wooden bowl that he had. And it just shocked me into watching the television, and as your statistic did before, about $2 a day. That's so many people in the world. How many people in the world are living on that, did you say?
Well, there's
average?
more than 6 billion people in the world, and if 50% are living on $2 a day or less, that's at least 3 billion.
Well, it makes you realize how blessed most of us are in this country.
And how encumbered by material possessions we are. I imagine the lifetime of such poverty might be a great experience in learning simplification, but it's carried beyond that point to real hardship and limitation. And still worse, the 20% who live on $1 a day or less. The UN tracks the economies and the education and child mortality and maternal health of the nations of the world, and so many of them are concentrated in Africa. And it's heartrending to see the consequences of such terrific poverty, and to try to figure out a way to eradicate it is, I suppose, difficult because it requires a change in consciousness. It's, I suppose, an example of inertia. things have always been that way. People have always been poor. The Bible says the poor you shall always have with you. And to overcome the poverty